I was watching season 2 of Hazbin Hotel, specifically the moment where Angel divorces himself from his family at the hotel. And one of the last lines he says is, "The last time I got to have a choice was when I signed my soul away." Now, narratively, you would think that the last time Angel got to have a choice was when he agreed to join the hotel. After all, it is established that Angel is the first guest. However, in season 2, in the episode Scream Rain, we learn that Vox has been performing mental assault on Angel by forcibly hypnotizing him so that he would act as a sleeper agent and spy on the hotel. And this devastates him because he has been passing the V's information that they need as fuel against Charlie, against the Morning Stars, and the hotel itself. And if Vox had honestly considered it, things still could have been so much worse than that. And what is even worse is that Angel himself doesn't know how long this has been going on. Like, it could have been going on over the 18 months that do make up season 1 and season 2, or perhaps even longer than that. So he is left doubting that his choice to even join the hotel may even have been his choice at all. It may have just been another manipulation. And this brought my attention to one moment in the first episode of season 1, where Angel is talking with Baggy and he asks her, if Alistair is so powerful, why doesn't he just force people to join the hotel? To which Alistair says, "Oh, trust me, I can." Now, oh, given what we know now, this line starts to feel more suggestive. Consider it this way. The exterminations have been going on for 7 years. Lilith has been missing for 7 years. Alistair has been missing for 7 years. Angel is the first guest at the hotel, and in the pilot, it was brought up that he has been there for 2 weeks. Since the pilot takes place the day after extermination, that means Angel has been coexisting at the hotel for 2 weeks before the 7th annual extermination. In the pilot, Alistair shows up at the hotel out of nowhere and says he wants to help. He is shown watching Charlie's interview and takes an interest in her, and also brings up that he learned what she was doing with the hotel and through said interview. But he also admits he doesn't actually believe in redemption. Instead, he only wants to find entertainment in watching the demons who do seek redemption to fail over and over again in the course of doing so. And we, of course, learn that Alistair is at the hotel because of Rosie, who has some invested interest in the hotel, or at least Charlie, and we don't know what those reasons are as of yet. Uh, Angel, likewise, has not been all that shy about his skepticism towards the hotel's mission, particularly in early season 1. And he only seems interested in taking advantage of the free rent. So perhaps Angel's decision to join the hotel also may not have been consciously his. This leaves 3 possibilities. Given recent interviews implying that Alistair will move decisively into a more villainous role, it is possible he could reveal that he did use subtle manipulative magic to coerce Angel into joining the hotel in the first place. Although Angel is, yes, the first guest, his status is closer to that of a prototype resident, a guest zero, because he was involved with the hotel before it officially launched. With Alistair's perspective, the hotel needed at least one sinner already committed to the experiment in order to make his participation valid. He also framed his involvement as conditional, based on entertainment value and the presence of a willing subject. And so Angel's early involvement provided that. If Alistair did nudge or compel or magically influence Angel's decision, it would mean the foundation of the hotel itself was built on a manufactured choice, rather than a genuine act of someone seeking redemption. This revelation will not only deepen Alistair's villain turn, but it would also reframe Angel's entire arc. Lilith is another possibility. Although absent throughout the series thus far, she still exerts a distinct cause and effect influences on events in hell. Canon suggests that her singing voice once inspired sinners towards hope, which frightened heaven enough to institute the exterminations to begin with. And even in her absence, Lilith's legacy is one of quiet rebellion, subverting despair through encouragement. So it makes it plausible that she played a hidden role in selecting the hotel's first guest, a soul difficult enough to redeem to make Charlie's mission meaningful, yet salvageable enough to demonstrate that redemption is not entirely impossible. In the pilot, Charlie leaves a voicemail for her mother, and almost immediately afterward, Alistair appears to offer his assistance. This timing is conspicuous. It raises the possibility that Lilith may have received a similar message earlier, perhaps from Charlie expressing frustration at the lack of sinners willing to participate in her fledgling hotel. If Lilith wanted to support her daughter from afar, without openly defying heaven, she might have arranged for a particular soul to be placed within Charlie's orbit. Angel Dust fits this pattern perfectly, as he is by design or by coincidence the ideal paradox. He is difficult to redeem, but not beyond hope. He is deeply wounded, yet still capable of yearning for something better. He is messy, complicated, and traumatized, and yet charismatic enough to draw others towards him and make the hotel feel more alive. If Lilith subtly orchestrated his placement through fate or influence or even a whispered nudge in Hell's spiritual ecosystem, then that would explain why Angel could have become a guest zero, the prototype residents whose presence legitimized the hotel before it even began. And of course, the most enigmatic possibility is Rue. Although she has not yet appeared as an on-screen character and will not be formally introduced until season 4, subtle hints across the series have established her presence and her unusual fixation on both Angel and Charlie. Rue's influence appears as early as the pilot in a shadowy distortion behind Angel, and again in Scream Rain, where her attention seems pointedly directed at him, yet in Curtains Close broadens her scope. Her gaze lingers on Charlie as well. Though assess, and it is in Curtains Close that we see eyes on the wall while Charlie is talking to her mom, and it feels as though Rue might be assessing her potential. So Rue's interest in the hotel's mission is therefore not sentimental, it is strategic. The annual exterminations create a predictable ecosystem in hell. Hopelessness feeds compliance. Charlie's attempt to disrupt the system by fostering an actual redemption would, by contrast, threaten and reshape the balance of power. For most overlords, this is seen as a nuisance and even expressed as such. And for Rue, an entity associated with deep mythic strata of hell, it would be a curiosity worth probing, not to see whether redemption is possible, but to understand what kind of soul might break the pattern of despair, how hope itself could become a new leverage point, and whether a successful redemption system might actually serve her own inscrutable aims. Under this interpretation, Rue may have been responsible in identifying a sinner whose life trajectory made them both an ideal experiment and deeply questionable candidate. Someone fractured, volatile, traumatized, and drowning in vice, and yet not entirely unreachable. Angel fits this template with precision. He is morally compromised, but not fully corrupted. He is capable of craving connection, and yet terrified of it. He is bound by an exploitative system, and yet secretly yearning for meaning. And he's strong enough to survive hell, but fragile enough to break within it. To Rue, such a soul would be perfect, unstable enough to cast doubt on the hotel's mission, yet promising enough to spark intrigue. Angel's presence would force the hotel to wrestle with real questions. How do you redeem someone who doesn't believe they deserve redemption? Can a system built on love survive contact with genuine trauma? Is hope a resource that can be cultivated or corrupted? If Rue places Angel at the hotel, whether through a nudge, a vision, or a subtle spiritual pull, it would frame him as the hotel's unwitting fulcrum, the soul whose redemption or destruction could shape the metaphysical balance between heaven, hell, and whatever Rue wants. It also recontextualizes her early signs of interest, such as in Scream Rain, her attention towards Angel becomes that of a gardener checking on the seeds she has planted, and in Curtains Closed, her attention towards Charlie becomes a study of a potential catalyst or a threat. Rue's involvement would make Angel not merely guest zero, but Rue's chosen experiment, setting the stage for a much larger revelation when she arrives in season 4.